Welcome to Conversations with Creative Minds. We have been searching for the meaning of creativity and the role it plays in our daily life. People use creativity to express themselves in different ways, such as writing, painting, poetry, composing music, or innovating new products. Creative minds have never been more relevant than today because of the need to solve our society's dynamic and complex problems. My name is John Harrison. My journey of exploration at Mount Auburn Cemetery began in the year 2000 at the suggestion of an author friend. I was quickly enthralled by the wonders and magic of sweet Auburn. As one walks a path, a red-tailed hawk might majestically land on a tree above. Turning a corner, a coyote might slowly trot by. Looking up into the pines in the dell, a great horned owl would often be visible. Exploring the three ponds at the cemetery, a statue-still form of a great blue heron, waiting patiently for a fish to pass by, might direct your gaze. Sometimes a green heron or black-crowned night heron might entertain you at one of the ponds. In May, in the midst of spring migration, one could sit on a bench near a flowering tree and watch the magnificent migrant warblers search for sustenance as they prepared for the next leg of their trek to their northern breeding grounds. The thousands of trees that you passed as the seasons changed were wondrous in their varieties of color. The architecture, the history, the 360-degree vista from Washington Tower, the memorials of so many notable souls that rest in the cemetery, Bigelow Chapel and the Great Sphinx standing guard. There was so much to behold in this oasis in the heart of the city. As time passed, the idea came to mind to create a book of photographs about the cemetery as a way to honor this special place. My friend Kim Nagy agreed to join this project. In addition to photographs, we decided to seek essays from authors and media personalities who experienced the wonders of Mount Auburn Cemetery. The many authors, poets, and photographers who have contributed to this work, some of them you see here, have come together to honor the wonder and affirm the life inherent in Mount Auburn Cemetery. They are a diverse group, and each of them tells a story of respect, love, and honor for this special place. Our pursuit of wildlife that began at Mount Auburn Cemetery led to other wildlife venues and then to our True Wildlife Adventures series for kids beginning in 2018. Mount Auburn was our inspiration for this new direction. These books, 5 so far with a 6th due out soon, enable us to concentrate on one species in each book, to tell a story and at the same time unlock some of the mysteries of the species we choose. Our own photographs, computer generated to look like illustrations, make this series desirable for a young audience. Our first book, Skylar's Great Adventure, the story of a great horned owlet that fell from a tree before it was strong enough to fly, was inspired by a couple of classes of kids whose teachers brought them to Fresh Pond to watch the owlet as it made its way along the ground. The excitement on the faces of the kids, seeing this beautiful owl up close and personal, made me think that this would be a great story for kids. It was a lesson in perseverance. This little owl taught us that overcoming obstacles is possible if we don't give up. Kim agreed, and in a week, she wrote the story. True Wildlife Adventures had begun. Inspiration can come in surprising ways.
Our second book featured another owl, the magical snowy owl from the Arctic. Some years, several fly south, and we get to experience the beautiful owls all winter long. We featured an owl we called Star Guy because he had great star power, and he seemed to like all the attention from his fans, the watchers and the photographers. He loved to fly and perch on trees, lampposts, house roofs, and even flagpoles. There are no trees in the Arctic, so this seemed to be great fun for the owl. Star Guy really seemed to enjoy his time on Salisbury Beach, giving performances and delighting all of us all winter long.
In the early years, up to 2004, there was always a red fox presence at Mount Auburn Cemetery. We could watch fox parents and kits playing on the grass. Then, at the end of 2004, the coyote Big Caesar came to the cemetery. He surveyed the cemetery as a possible location for a family. He and his clan drove the foxes out of the cemetery, and in 2008, Big Caesar and his mate, Czarina, had a family of pups at the cemetery, 9 of them. We were able to follow the progress of this coyote family for its entire season. This rare opportunity led to our third book, Big Caesar's New Home. Coyotes are resilient creatures. They are considered a keystone species, which means that other species depend on them in an ecosystem. So much so that if they were removed from the ecosystem, it would change drastically. We hoped that this book would make coyotes less scary to people. This species doesn't interfere with humans. Our book was a tremendous learning experience for us and, we think, for readers of the book.
Wally and Wind of the Woburn Cliffs is the story about a family of peregrine falcons, the fastest creature on Earth. The peregrine falcon is able to reach speeds of over 200 miles per hour. For many years, peregrine falcons have nested on the Woburn Cliffs, an ideal home for this apex predator. We chronicle the year the pair successfully raised 4 chicks, a very large family. We had front row seats as we watched them soar through the air, exchanging food from the parents to the chicks, amazed at their aerial prowess. They continue to live there today, high above the ground, wild and free.
For many years, at the Mystic Lakes of Medford, Arlington, and Winchester, there was a growing presence of bald eagles every winter. Because of this growing presence in our own backyard, and that bald eagles were thriving as a species, made us believe that someday bald eagles would nest in the area. In 2020, a pair of bald eagles, KZ and MK, made history. They nested in the backyard of a home along the shore of the lakes in Arlington, which inspired our book, KZ and MK, Lord and Lady of the Lakes. We were able to chronicle KZ and MK's nesting activities, from grasping sticks in their talons to build their nest to the challenge of a lone male eagle that tried to disrupt the nest. KZ and MK were a bit young to have a successful nest, but they learned from this experience and would, we hoped, be successful the next year.
Our latest book, KZ and MK Better Than Ever, continues the story of the Mystic Lakes bald eagles. Now, a year later, the pair was a year older, more mature, and ready to start a family. The eagles decided on a new location for their nest this time, and it was located in a nearby cemetery. Last year, their nest failed, and they had to fight off an adult male and other eagles that tried to disrupt their nest. But they never gave up, and this year, the eagles had 2 healthy chicks. KZ and MK Better Than Ever is an inspirational story about the power of never giving up, no matter what.